My guest today on Dolphin Tales is Sade Meeks of the track and field team at JU. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, you have such a fascinating story and a journey in that story still being written and all. I got to get right into just some of the amazing accomplishments that have happened here recently. You're setting school records, you and a track program that has just been so decorated as far as the athletes that have come through over the years under head coach Ron Grigg and what he has built there. But for you to set some school records, of course, not even, I guess just so a little over a year after tearing your ACL. What is just the whole process of getting to this point again to where you've been able to accomplish what you've been accomplished been like for you?
I think honestly, it's been like harder than I anticipated, 100%. But also, like most people have more of a tragic situation when they get injured. So, like for me, for example, I tore my ACL on the same exact day that I broke two school records in the same week. So that like kind of fueled my energy for the last year or so. I was able to do that day, and then unfortunately I tore my ACL on the same day. But like that like fire that was lit on under me as to like what I was, and kind
Mm.
of trying to get back to that was like my number one thing is to like come back the same or better than when I got hurt. So
You hyperextend your knee in the shot put, you tear it in the weight throw. I mean, just an unbelievable occurrence there. And like you said, how rare is it to literally have a high moment literally combined with a low moment all in sort of one. And then on top of that, we all know what happened in the last year. I mean, you get injured in the school year and sort of the world comes grinding to a halt. And how did you manage, number one, dealing with an injury that limited you, but number two, trying to rehab and come back in what was kind of uncertain times, especially throughout the course of the spring and the summer last year?
well, I was certainly lucky in that my surgery was legitimately one of the last surgeries, voluntary surgeries to occur at JOI. But I can't probably give any more credit to anyone other than Doug Fry. Like he was really instrumental in, first of all, getting me the surgery, and then also everybody kind of jetted after after that week that JU announced the school was closing down. I could not walk, so I couldn't drive home or anything. So Doug, basically, we rehabbed every single day. He drove me back and forth to like rehab centers and stuff, and then also was able to find a rehab place that was over the summer when I was able to walk and go home. Find a rehab place that was literally minutes walking from my home. So that was, and it was a great rehab place over there in Georgia. So I think Doug Fry like played a big part in in the most critical part of my recovery, which was the first 6 months. He played a large part in like getting me back to where I would like to be, in a time where so many athletes, especially those who get injured, it is so hard to go home, and it's hard to go home when you're healthy and go and stay 100%. So when you're not 100%, things can go wrong, and I think that Doug gave me a lot of guidance the entire time. So I can't shout out anyone other than him for that.
Well, hats off to Doug Fry. Been fortunate enough to talk to him on this program a couple of times too. I mean, just the level of care and dedication he has for the athletes at Jacksonville University is, like you said, it almost just can't even be put into words, how much he invests in the time and the energy. So hats off to Doug for helping get you started on that road back to recovery to where you are now, back, setting records with this track and field team. You all, well, let's look at this year. I mean, you guys have gone on to continue to do some amazing things. Um, you and others. I mean, high jump record, several other records have been broken. What about your team? What about the track and field team this year? What have you all kind of embraced or used as motivation to continue to find success and maybe even find more success throughout the course of this season so far?
I think the track team, and I know Coach Greg is a huge part of this, and but I think the track team sees like we want to be back where we were, pre Liberty entering our confident conference, um, winning championships indoor and outdoor. I forgot which year it was, but we won the Triple Crown maybe 2012. Um, I think that Coach Greg has made it really clear that like track and field is one of the most unpredictable sports ever. And a testament to that is indoor. We didn't compete indoor championship this year, but Kennesaw, of all people, was able to beat Liberty, who previously bested us in the prior year. So, and they lost by 2, 3 points. So, it's a very track and field is very unforgiving in that you are measured, and I think that when you're measured, it's just a testament to like all the hard work that you've put in or not put in. And
Mhm.
I think Coach Greg has always made us as a team feel like everything that we do measurement wise is all a reflection on what we have been doing. And I think as a whole, we've been working hard to try to win another team championship. And, I would love to cap off a great year, senior year, winning a once and trying to feel that, euphoria from freshman and sophomore year that I was here and we won a team championship indoor, outdoor.
Well, you speaking of putting in the work, Coach Brundage shared with me some of the numbers that you have posted in the weight room over the course of the last year. Where do you have some sort of a headspace when you enter the weight room and you're training that allows you to just keep building and getting better and putting up more impressive numbers? What is it like? Look at me. I mean, I'm not exactly a weight room junkie here, but I know that some people they sort of get in a different mentality when they get in that type environment. What is it for you that helps you have such great results there?
In the weight room, especially, I think a lot of women are afraid to pick things up. Oh, I don't want to get bulky or all these other things. And I do think that a lot of the part that I think is powerful is going in there and being like, okay, well, I can lift with the best of the boys, and that's a beautiful thing to do. Being strong and having powerful muscles and everything you do is a beautiful thing. And I think when I go in there, I try to like set an example for the freshmen and sophomore throwers, just to like, hey, this is cool, like this is to be able to do this, and to have our education and be a scholarship athlete. This is what it's about, is going in there and seeing what you can do. And I think going into the weight room, that is a like it's something that you can really push yourself to the absolute limits. And I don't think you can really do that anywhere else in your training as much. So I really think that the weight room, my headspace is more about, being strong and being an example to the other girls on the team more than anything.
Let's go all the way back when you were in the process of figuring out what you were going to do for college and choosing where you're going to go to school, and then also compete in track and field. How did JU come on the radar, and how did you ultimately make the decision?
So for me, I was definitely a late bloomer in high school. So I mean, I went from not making the state championship junior year to winning the state championship in my senior year. So I definitely wasn't on the radar for many schools at all. And so when I went to the indoor national championship, which is in New York City in the at the Armory track, JU was there as they go every year. And Coach Brundage was like, he saw me throw weight throw of all things, not even like shot put, which is kind of what I was hoping to get recruited for. I wasn't a great weight thrower, but good enough to make the national meet, but not good enough to like be an All American. And he saw something in me with the weight throw that I guess I did not see in myself. I was very new weight thrower. I was doing one turn. I was really not good at all. But he saw something, and that mainly put them on my radar just from him coming on to coming to the national meet. And that's like how we met and how this all started. Once I came here, I knew like I wanted to go here, but that's how it like that's how the whole situation came about.
So you come in and you had to kind of earn a little bit of the opportunity there, right? I mean, you worked your way up from a, as you put it, a kind of an under the radar recruit, and next thing you know, you're able to earn some scholarship money, and your academics have certainly helped with that as well. But then earn your way to filling up the record book as someone who will go down as one of the all time greatest throwers, certainly in school history. I mean, how did you settle in early on in your career and start to develop as time went along?
I think that, obviously when you come in as a walk on, you have that little extra fire, like, okay, how can I prove my value? And I knew that I was going to have to do well enough at 3 events and score enough points to be a scholarship athlete. So, during the shot put, the hammer, the weight, and the discus, all at the same time, freshman year, kind of overwhelming to train that many events throughout the year. But I knew that I needed to be different from the other girls and not only be a one trick pony. So I think that in in the development phase in my freshman sophomore year was really critical to how well I'm doing now, because had I not had that kind of versatility, it wouldn't allow me to be as um, great at 2 events that I am now doing full time, I guess. Um, and I think that if I hadn't started that way, I might not have realized my potential as much in hammer or weight throw. So I do really think that beginning phase of doing the events, all of the events freshman year, worked really well for me. And it doesn't work a lot for a lot of freshmen in college.
Do you have a favorite event that you compete in?
Mm, I mean, honestly, I was in high school. My favorite event was always shot put, and I kind of hammer has now kind of creeped in as something I'm good at. But I think that at the end of the day, I think shot put's always going to be my first love, no matter how good I throw the hammer. So yeah, I
You
would
got to
say
stick with what got you there, right? Like there's something about that first love.
yeah.
I love that, and the shot put is always something I've been amazed by, just in the footwork and everything that goes into it. And I think it's one of those where everybody looks at it, and if you haven't picked up a tennis ball or something at some point and pretended to do a shot put, I don't know if you've ever been a wannabe backyard athlete, right? But it is just the technique and all is just beyond what anybody can even pretend to ever do. I mean, how do you end up good at something like that?
For me, I had a weird situation in high school too, because I was originally kind of a musical theater nerd, and that's kind of what I wanted to do in life. And then, like my sophomore year, they cut like the music and the arts from my school, so I didn't really have anything to do after school. So I joined the track team, and the running didn't last very long. Did not like it. Um, and then I ended up like, okay, what's this shot put? And then I was not good. I did not take it seriously. I was just my first sport ever. So I'm like, wasn't very good. And then my junior year, I started to take it a little bit more seriously. I wasn't great, but, I was okay. I was winning some meets. And then my senior year, I worked really, really hard. I started working out, investing a lot of time. And like I just fully did not expect to pursue athletics in college at all. I was actually going to go to Ithaca College, which is like a school upstate, and it's very pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, a family that went there. So
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually where I was going to end up going. But
go
athletics
Bombers.
came into the yeah. Athletics came into the picture, and I ended up, here. So I think Coach Budget saw a diamond in the rough and took the opportunity to turn me into something great. So I appreciate him for that. And now this is where I am. So
That's fantastic. What did you have during your musical theater career, like a favorite role or play that you acted in?
well, before the program, this is the saddest part, because the way it worked is like you uh practiced and everything all fall for the spring, and they cut it after the fall was over. So we had already like been through the entire thing, and we were doing a more appropriate version of the Dreamgirls musical,
Okay.
and I was, Effie, or if you don't know the movie, then it doesn't really correlate anything. But that was definitely my favorite role. Like, who doesn't want to be Jennifer Hudson? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that's a pretty big
the best
character right there.
character. Yeah, it's the best
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So I was very, very excited. It was a very, if you know Dreamgirls, it's a very dramatic thing. It was way more um, consolidated, but it was definitely still, it was going to probably be one of the best musicals ever at my school. So, but they cut it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Brutal timing. If I could go back and write a letter to the New York State school district and let them know, that's sorry to dig out some unfortunate memories there
Bad
for you.
memories. Like, I still think about it to this day.
Oh
Like, I
man,
don't know who I'd be if they didn't cut
I
it.
know. But this version of you, I mean, this is a good version of you, though, right?
Yes.
Oh, one thing that you have also excelled at, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, the academic side of things and the service side of things. You serve on several boards at JU, as well as excelling as an accounting student, and you were named recently, just last month, in fact, as part of Women's History Month, as a capper for it, the Woman of the Year, Undergrad Woman of the Year at Jacksonville University, which is an award and an honor now named for Frances Bartlett Kinney, the former president, first female president of a university or college in the state of Florida, and of course she just passed away, unfortunately, this past year as well. So to earn an honor like that, and then to have it named after the most influential woman in the university's history, what did that honor mean to you when you were presented with that last month?
Honestly, when I first came to JU, like I felt like I had like a second family, and that was just off of a weekend visit to the school. So I knew that when I came in, I wanted to do something to make a lasting impact at the school. And that led to me creating things on campus and joining things, and it doesn't really, even though it is time consuming with my academics and track, like it doesn't feel like work to me. It really does feel like something that I am working to leave a legacy here, and be like, when I am 30, 40 years older, like I remember this experience, and this is something that, I brought to the university, or that the university taught me and gave me the opportunity to do. And I think that that award kind of just encompasses everything I've done in my entire collegiate career. So it was very much like a nice, be- great award to win. But like, I'm just happy that I was able to do all the things that led up to winning that award. I really think that, it's such a powerful statement. Like, okay, Woman of the Year, but what does that mean? And I think the what does it mean part is really where I am focused on and inspiring. And, the Woman of the Year this year was Jaylen Morales, someone who works in our exec board for student government. And like being able to inspire someone like that and works with someone like that, that kind of shows a little bit of the legacy that I want. I just want to have something where I'm impacting people even after I'm gone. And I think that that award that's what it means to me, making an impact past my reign here at JU.
Have you given much thought to what is, I know you've got plans for graduate school and big things there, but like what you want to do in 5, 10, 15 years, as far as, because it seems like you're someone who won't be satisfied with going to work and doing the job and collecting a paycheck and going home. Like there seems to be more that motivates you and drives you in life.
Well, for me, I do, like, I'm an athlete, so I know, like, but I know also in history in general, like, those who are in the African American community, a lot of the times there's this kind of thing where success is only followed by playing a sport, or by being in entertainment and doing things like that. And all those things are great, and there's no knock to those amazing people who have come before us, who are famous and who are great athletes, and that's why they're successful. um, those people, I think that for me, I want to show that there is a side that isn't that, and that could be in corporate America, that could be a organization not for profit dedicated to sh- um, dedicated to the learning and teaching financial literacy
Hmm.
to at-risk youth. Like those types of things are things I think are more important long run than maybe learning how to dribble a ball. And I think that for me, finding a way to make an impact in my community, wherever I end up, that's just how I'm gonna be guided throughout my life, and that could be within my profession or not. And so I think even when I am working full time, and I definitely will have my hands in a bunch of things. Just that's the nature of the type of person I am. So yeah, that's
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's an awesome thought process. It's more of what is probably needed in general. I mean, we're very much still only scratching the surface of where people like you, people with that type of mentality need to be attacking. I mean, it's great. Like you said, I mean, we sit here in a world of sports and everything, or a lot of what I do involves sports. But the beauty of, I think, being in collegiate sports is like there is that other side, right? Like there is, what do the people do next, and how can you impact at a different level when you're hang up the spikes or the shot put or the whatever, and move on to the next phase of your life. And it sounds like you've already got, some plans in place for how you want to go about attacking it, and that's fantastic. I do want to wrap with one more track related question here. You said it earlier. Obviously, the team goal is to win a championship when it's all said and done at the ASUN Outdoor Championships. But what, can you just take me inside of a practice? Take me inside of either a morning deal with Coach Brundage, or maybe a meet where you guys are all together as a team. What makes this group, this track and field team, special and unique in your mind as someone who's been a part of several years worth of them now?
I think what makes this group special, especially within the throws group and the jumps group and the field events in general right now, I really do think we have like a group that is both seasoned in how long they've been doing their thing, but also in the youth and how good they are for how young they are. And I think that our team has a lot of depth that just hasn't come out yet. And every day, like I see, whether you're just strolling by the track during practice or whether you're in practice with another thrower, you see the potential, and you see, because I know where I was when I was a freshman and a
Mm-hmm.
sophomore, distance wise, mentality wise. And I know I now know what it takes to become what I have become, and seeing where the sophomore and freshman are now with their mindset and how good they are, I know that they're way going to be way better than those who were before them. And I think that that's so powerful. So every time I go to a track meet and I see every time we go to a track meet and I see watch the others compete while I'm out throwing, it is great to watch, and it just shows that like we're in such good hands when we leave. And I think that everyone who's on a sports team should always want to see their team do better as they leave and as they move on with their lives. On a daily basis, and specifically in the throws group, we wake up at 6 in the morning, we get to practice at 7. I think that especially with the throws where you're repeatedly doing one specific thing or one, there are so many nuances, and we're all different people. What works for one person might not work for the other. And I think Coach Brundage has done a good job at building that chemistry with us to give those cues and give those tweaks in a way where we're not reinventing the wheel, but we are making progress and changes little by little every single day. And I'm starting to see that come out even now with, as you get better, it incrementally gets harder to throw farther. So, and it's just crazy to see how well he's been able to use his 17 years of coaching to tweak things in a way that you don't understand until you start to do it and make the change and make it work. So a lot of respect for him on that.
Would you say the legacy of maybe even most specifically the throwing at Jacksonville University is that it just keeps getting better from Hillary Crook down to Creek Clark and Sam Turner and now you? I mean, it just feels like no matter what happens, no matter where down the line, it feels like whoever is coming in after is leaving their legacy after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think every generation of throwers gets better. And I think that's not only a testament to, our coach and his ability to recruit, but also the ability to attract these types of people as university. So I think it speaks to the university and the team, but also to the entire what it means to be a Jacksonville University student. And I think that that's going to play a big role into the girls who are younger than me's success and my success when I leave here. So
Well, Sade Meeks, this has been an absolute pleasure catching up with you, learning more about you, and you're an inspiration. So I appreciate you joining me here today on Dolphin Tales.
thank you so much, Scott. Appreciate it.